Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Study With Me. Today I'm going to explain about Chemistry Standard Level Paper 1, May 2023, Time Zone 2. If you find this video is helpful, don't forget to subscribe and let's get started. Which is the correct equation for the electrolysis of molten sodium chloride? Molten means melted, so it's melted sodium chloride. It means it will be in the liquid state. So the reaction will be, if it's at the cathode, Na plus electron produce Na liquid, and at the anode that would be 2Cl minus producing Cl2 gas and 2 electron, because here is 1 electron, so if we want to balance it, so it will be times 2, so Na here will be 2 as well. Therefore the answer will be a 2Na liquid and Cl2 gas. Number 2, what is the mass of one molecule of C60? The formula will be number of atom C60 times relative atomic mass of carbon divided by Avogadro's number. So if you plot into this equation, that will be 60 times 12.01 divided by 6 times 10 to the power 23 will be 1.2 times 10 to the power 21. 20 centimeter cube of gas A reacts with 20 centimeter cube of gas B to produce 10 centimeter cube of gas AXBY and 10 centimeter of excess gas A. What are the correct values for subscripts X and Y in the empirical formula of the product AXBY? So as we know from the question, 20 centimeter cube gas A reacts with 20 centimeter cube gas B, producing 10 centimeter cube gas AXBY. Apparently, only half of gas A is used because there is 10 centimeter cube gas A excess. Okay, so from here we can say that whenever 10 centimeter cube gas AXBY is produced, gas B is completely used up and only half of gas A is used. Therefore, for every 20 centimeter cube gas B, only half of gas A is used. This indicates that, for example, this will be 2 moles because it's 2 times and this is half, so it's 1 times, so it's 1 mole. So 2 moles of gas B and 1 mole of gas A, so X will be 1 and Y will be 2. The answer is D. The volume V for a fixed mass of an ideal gas was measured at constant temperature at different pressure P. Which graph shows the correct relationship between PV against P? If it's T, it's constant. This is Boyle's law. So pressure of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume. So therefore, the formula will be like this. So PV, it's constant. So if pressure increases, volume decreases to keep PV constant. Vice versa, volume increases proportionally to maintain PV. So the correct graph for PV will be a straight line. Indeed, when pressure increases. What is the correct ground state electron orbital configuration for 2s2p2? Okay, so based on the Pauli's rule, each orbital can hold a maximum of 2 electrons of opposite spin. So between A or B. And the electron spin is pointing up first before pointing it down to pair them up. So you need to fill this orbital first by pointing it up for the spin, and then you can continue to pair them up by pointing it down. So the answer will be A. The following diagram shows a light passing through a cold gas cloud and light from a hot gas cloud. A light source through a cold gas cloud, and the other one light from a hot gas cloud. So this will be absorption, and this will be emission. Why? Because this occurs when light from continuous source pass through a cooler gas cloud. So the atoms or molecules in the gas cloud absorb specific wavelength of light. So that's why it can pass through this. And for the emission, it occurs when atoms or molecules in a hot gas cloud emit light at specific wavelengths characteristic of elements or molecule present in the cloud. So the answer will be A. What is the electron configuration for an element in group 4, period 5? So I will breaking it down. For Kr, the number is 36, so the electron here 2 plus 2, so it will be 4, so it's 50, which is, if you check in the periodic table, that will be Zr. Zr will be in the period 5 and group 4. So if you check on the periodic table, you will see Zr is in the period 5 and group 4. And for B, Ar, it's 18 plus 5, it's 23. That will be vanadium. So it's period 4. And for C, that will be Ar, 18 plus 15. That will be 33, which is As. As in the period 4 as well. But for D is Kr, so 36 plus 14, that will be 50. Sn, period 4, period 5, but group Sn, so period 5, but group. So if you see on the periodic table, Sn, even though it's in the period 5, but it's group 14. So the answer will be A. Which properties increase down the group 1 alkali metal? So when you go down the group, number of electron increases, so the number of shells also increases. Therefore, the radius between the nucleus with the electron in the outermost shells will increase, so the atomic radius will increase as well. So for the first statement is correct. For the melting point, as atomic radius increases, the electron will be less to tight by the nucleus, so the melting point will decrease. Therefore, for the second statement, melting point will decrease. For the reactivity with water, as you go down a group, the reactivity will increase, so it will be easier or more reactive to react with water. Therefore, the third one is correct. So the answer will be B. Which compound is both volatile and soluble in water? So both volatile and soluble typically has low molecular weight and has functional groups that allow for hydrogen bonding with water molecule. For NaCl, it is not volatile because it has strong ionic bond, so it requires high temperature to vaporize. For B is propane. It is a gas at room temperature and pressure, so it's definitely volatile, but it is non-polar, so it's difficult to dissolve in water. And for C, it is a small molecule with OH group, allowing to form hydrogen bond with water, making it soluble, and it has low boiling point, making it volatile. And for D, sucrose, it is a very large molecule and it's definitely not volatile. Soluble in water and it has hydroxyl group, but due to its large size, making it less likely to vaporize. So the answer will be C. Which are the correct sequences of increasing bond strength and bond length between two carbon atoms? So if we want to compare the bond strength, C triple bond C and double bond and single bond, so the strength will decrease. Single bond is the weakest one. And for the length, triple bond, double bond, and single bond has the longest length, so this will increase. Therefore, the answer will be C. What is the electron domain geometry of sulfur dioxide SO2? These are the Lewis structure of SO2. So it has 3 electron domain. The domain geometry is trigonal planar. Be careful, bent is the molecular shape. So the answer is trigonal planar. What is the correct comparison of H and H bond angle in NH2 minus, NH3, and NH4 plus? So if we draw the Lewis structure, that will be like this. This for NH2 minus, and this for NH3, and this for NH4 plus. The bond angle will be very, very small than 109 degrees, and this one a little bit small of 109 degrees, and this one will be 109 degrees. So this one is bent, this one is trigonal pyramid, and if we put them in the order, so the answer will be A. The enthalpy of formation of ammonia gas is negative 46 kilojoule per mole. What is the energy released in kilojoule in the reaction? Delta HF N2 will be 0 as it is standard state. In its standard state, the enthalpy formation of H2 also 0, so only this will have number. So to calculate delta HF of this reaction, that will be 2 times negative 46, because products minus reactant, and but the reactants are both 0, so that will be negative 22 because it released the energy, so that's why it's negative. So the answer will be D. And for number 14, these are the reaction that we need, and 2H4 on the left side, and H2 on the left side as well, and 2 and H3 on the right side. So if we look at to these 3 reaction, we can see that and 2H4 liquid is on the right side, and it has the same coefficient number 1 and 1, so this will stay like this. We don't flip it, or we don't divide it or multiply it. And for the second one, this is 2NH3 on the right side, the same also coefficient, so this will also stay like this. And for the third one, H2 is on the left side, but here is on the right side, so we need to flip them. So if we write back the reaction, that would be, so before we forget, this will be positive, so plus CH3OH produce CH2O and 2 and 3H2, and for this also stay the same. And the third one, we need to flip it, so H2 will be here plus CH2O produce CH3OH. So we need this one, and we need H2, and we need 2 and H3. So this we can eliminate, this we eliminate, and to eliminate H2, eliminate as well. So if you do calculation here, you will get -18. Which statement concerning bond breaking is correct? Breaking chemical bonds requires input energy to overcome the attractive forces holding atoms together. The process is definitely endothermic because it needs input energy. Curve X on the following graph show the volume of oxygen formed during the catalytic decomposition of a 1 molar solution of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, if you see the curve here, Y produce more volume, slightly more, and faster. Which change would produce the curve Y? Okay, adding water will not affect the rate of reaction because water is not involved in the reaction. Okay, there's no water in the reaction. Adding 1 molar H2O2 will definitely increase the concentration of reactant. Thus, it will increase the rate of reaction. Higher volume of O2 increase the rate of reaction. It becomes faster. The answer is B. Let's check C. Adding 2 molar H2O2 would significantly increase the concentration because it is more concentrated, leading to even more faster reaction and higher volume of Y, unlike in the graph. But here is only slightly increased. So adding 2 molar is not gonna produce this graph Y. Repeating the experiment without a catalyst will decrease the rate of reaction, so decreasing volume of oxygen produced. So the answer will be B. Potential energy profile is shown for a reaction. Okay, so before that, I just want to clarify, this is the transition state. Okay, so, and this is the amount of energy. So a catalyst affects activation of energy of reaction between reactants and the transition state. So this will be there. It will work for the energy change if the catalyst is added. And for the second one, the presence of a catalyst lowers this activation energy, making it easier for the reaction to proceed. So the second one is also. But the third one, catalyst does not affect the overall energy difference between reactants and product. So the answer is only 1 and 2. Which condition will cause the given equilibrium to shift to the right? For the first one, 1/2 of solid AgCl is removed. It will disturb the equilibrium. And if we add water, it will not affect equilibrium since water is a solvent, so it doesn't participate in reaction. And if we add solid and ACl, adding an ACl will cause an increase in solid silver chloride, as it will increase in chlorine ion concentration. This will cause equilibrium shift towards the right. And increasing the pressure will not give any effect because there is no gas molecule. So the answer will be C. Which reaction represents the neutralization of a Bronsted-Lowry acid and base? So Bronsted-Lowry acid and base involves proton transfer from the acid to base and form water. For the first reaction, HCl and zinc, it's a redox reaction where Zn reducing is acting as a reducing agent. And for the C, it's ammonia reacts with oxygen. It is a combustion reaction. And for D, it is not neutralization reaction as there is no acidic or basic species involved. So the answer will be B. Okay, so for next number, what is the hydroxide ion concentration in a solution of pH equal to 4? So if pH equal to 4, so POH will be 10 because 14 minus 4. So the concentration of OH minus will be 10 to the power negative 10. So the answer will be D. Which element has variable oxidation states in its compound? It's bromine because it has 7 valence electrons, which means can gain 1 electron to achieve stable octet, which is Br minus ion, or lose 7 electron to achieve a stable octet, which is Br plus. Thus, the range is from -1 to +7. For example, in Br minus, the oxidation state will be -1. For Br2 will be 0. For HBr will be -1. And for BRO will be +2. And for Br2O5 will be +5. Which chemical process would produce a voltaic cell? Voltaic cell operated based on the spontaneous redox, where it is converting electrical energy through transfer electron from the reducing agent to the oxidizing agent. This flow of electron generates an electric current, thus it is a spontaneous. Which species could be reduced to form SO2? It is H2SO4. Because H2SO4 can be reduced to form SO2. The reaction will be like this. So sulfuric acid can be reduced to form SO2 through a process where oxygen atoms are removed from H2SO4 molecule. H2SO4 lose oxygen atoms, forming SO2 and H2O. It's a reduction reaction where a substance undergoes a decrease in its oxidation state. Which compound is an aromatic ester? Ester functional group or formula will be like this. So the answer definitely B. Which products could be obtained by heating isomer C3H8O under reflux with acidified potassium dichromate? So C3H8O, it's an alcohol. So C3CH2, CO2, CH2OH, it's propan-1-ol, or CH3CH2CHOH and CH3, or propan-2-ol. Okay, so when propanol is oxidized, propan 1O, it typically undergoes further oxidation to form propanoic acid. So propanol is acting as an intermediate compound in the oxidation of propanol. As you know, when we oxidize propan 1O, it will produce aldehyde and propanoic acid. But in this case, the oxidation will be further to react to form propanoic acid, and aldehyde is acting as an intermediate compound. And for propan 2O, when you oxidize, it will directly produce ketone, which is propanol. So the answer will be C. What is the preferred IUPAC name of the structure shown? So I will draw the structure to make it easier for you to see. So this will be COH and CH3, and we have another CH3 here because there are two here. Okay, so this number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So butane, but butane 2-ol, and we have alkyl here at number 2 and 3. So 2.3 dimethyl. So the answer will be 2.3 dimethyl butane 2-ol. Okay, what are the most likely reaction ethene and benzene will undergo? Ethene is unsaturated hydrocarbon. So it goes through addition reaction where the double bond is broken. There is double bond in ethene, CH2 double bond CH2. So this double bond will be break and two new single bonds are formed. For benzene, benzene is an aromatic hydrocarbon with a structure of 6 carbon atoms. It goes through substitution reaction where one atom or group replaces another group or atom on the benzene while the ring structure remains intact. So the answer will be A. Which observation will explain a systematic error for an experiment involves the combustion of magnesium to find the empirical formula of its oxide? The answer is C. Okay, for number 29, the following graph shows the concentration of C4H9Cl versus time. So if you draw a line, I'm sorry, but it was quite difficult for me to draw the line. But if you draw the line, you will get, to calculate the average, you will get 1 times 10 to the power negative 4. Delta y will be 0.08 minus 0, and delta x will be 100 minus 0. So you will get 1 times 10 to the power negative 4. And for which compound will have only one H NMR signal and show a carbonyl group in the IR spectrum? So let me just draw the structure of Lewis structure for each of this option. So this will be aldehyde, and then the second one will be carboxylic acid, and then the third one will be ether, and then the fourth one will be ketone. Okay, so aldehyde, it has two different hydrogen environments, so it's not gonna have only one H NMR signal, even though there is one carbonyl group right here. And for the B, it's carboxylic acid. It has also multiple hydrogen environment, so it will not give only one NMR signal, even though it has carbonyl group. And for the third one, it has no carbonyl group, even though one type of hydrogen environment, so this will not be the answer. And the fourth one, it has only one type of hydrogen because it's symmetrical and it has carbonyl group, so it will only give one signal corresponding to all hydrogen atom, and with its carbonyl group, it will show a characteristic absorption band in the IR spectrum. That's why the answer is D. All right, so that's all for the explanation, paper one.